Welcome to the Senior Podcast Show. I'm your host, Kori Lehr. I'm also the Director of Communications with the Senior Companies. I am here today with a very special guest. I'm here today with Danyell from American House MI. Welcome, Danyell.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you're here. We have had some of your coworkers on in the past. We have gotten to meet each other in sort of a different element when I got to come and do the commercial for you guys at Dearborn Heights. That was so fun, getting to interact with some of the residents and getting that tour and just seeing like how homey it really feels. You guys have a really great community.
Oh, well, thank you.
If you guys want to watch that commercial, it is listed in the description. We encourage you to do so because then you can see about all of the amazing things that she talks about when we get there. But beyond talking about your community, you are here to talk to us a little bit about finances and senior living. So while there are a lot of options out there, as most of our audience knows, they are required you to pay through your own assets. And senior living can be costly depending on what that person's needs are.
Correct.
You guys are a very wonderful community. You guys have very cost-effective options, especially in what you receive while you're there. However, there is a program out there that you're here to tell us about that if someone has a lower income, they need a little bit of help in paying for a safe place to live, because really that's what it is. Danyell's here to teach us a little bit more about that program. I'm very excited because I think lots of people should be aware of that. It obviously doesn't fit everybody, but having that knowledge about it and being able to investigate yourself, I think, is really important. So you are here to talk about a Medicaid waiver for senior living.
Correct.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about that? Because it is different than Medicaid for health insurance.
Correct. Yes. So Medicaid is a Michigan program that started in 1992 for those eligible seniors or those who are disabled to help to get support services, similar to like a nursing home aspect, but in your own home. In your own home can be your physical house, or it could be a senior living community. And what helps the potentials that are searching for a senior living community, what benefits them, it gives them an opportunity to be in a community that they didn't think they could afford, and also gives them a support system.
Yeah, that's the most important part, is it's opening some doors for people who, like you said, didn't think they could afford it, or really the socialization aspect and the care aspect is huge for people. Just that part alone can change their entire life and help them mentally and physically. Yeah, because there's so many different things going on. So you said it was from 1992. Obviously, it's still going on today. How does somebody find out more about this? Do you know that more than just your communities offer this? Because not every community that someone would tour would accept this program.
Yeah. So if you are looking for a community that may offer the Michigan Waiver, you would actually give the community a call and say, hey, I am looking for a new home for my loved one. I'm just wondering, do you offer the Michigan Waiver Program? And they can tell you off the bat if that is a program that they offer within the community. And the program helps offset the cost of housekeeping and meals, and if within that community they have a third-party in-home health care that helps pay for the majority of the services.
That's amazing, because that can be the biggest expense.
Yeah, that in-home health care is generally where the biggest expense is, and it's nice to have that relief that there is help in reducing that cost for those services.
Yeah, and the services that she's hinting at are the activities of daily living. That's with the dressing and the bathing. That's when besting is when you combine them both.
Yes.
Yes. But like toileting and things like that. And so those are the services that can be costly, and those are costly whether you're in your own personal home or you're in a community. And so I think it's really nice that you sort of have that ability to use either or. What are some of the eligibility requirements that need to be met in order to be eligible for the waiver program?
Yeah, in order to be eligible for the My Choice Waiver Program, which is home community-based services, is that you have to be 65 years or older or with a disability. You have to be income or asset qualified. And if you are a single person, generally the income qualification is about $2,523, and you can't have more than $2,000 of assets. Now, if you're a couple and one person wants to qualify for the Michigan Waiver Program, or is a couple you both do, there's different qualifications for assets and income. And I suggest that you go to Michigan.gov and research my Choice Waiver Program in regards to those assets and incomes. Also, to be qualified for the Michigan Waiver Program, you do have to be assessed by someone from the waiver program, who could be a nurse or a social worker, just to make sure that you are in need of the ADLs, everyday living assistance, such as a shower assistance, getting up for AM or PM care. So you have to have some of those qualifications as well.
That's interesting that it's like a dual. I didn't realize that. I thought it was just more, I guess I was thinking more of like the financing, but that's interesting.
Yeah, so you have a need, and you have to have an income qualification along with asset qualifications.
So if someone did qualify for Medicaid and they are receiving that healthcare portion, does that make them automatically eligible?
No, just because you're on Medicaid doesn't mean you're automatically eligible. You do have to have the asset and income qualifications, along as some health care needs, like an ADL support. You at least need 2 of those.
Interesting, because I do feel like if those who would be listening would feel like that, oh, great, I've got the insurance part covered. I must be, eligible for that too. So I appreciate you answering that question.
Thank you.
So if someone wanted to apply, I know you mentioned that they could visit Michigan.gov for more information. Is that where they would also start that application at, or is that somewhere else?
Well, the application app would start somewhere else. So first you have to find an agency. So you would still, again, go to Michigan.gov, and you would search area and agency county numbers, and then that will give you a list of agencies to call. And when you call, you would say, I'm looking for the My Choice Waiver Program. I wanted to see if myself or my loved one qualifies. And it is a quite unique beginning phone call. So I always tell people, give yourself about, 20 minutes, 45 minutes to start that first phone call. Because first they want to make sure that your income and asset qualified. And then after that, they need to know if you are in need of any support services. And then they will start going from there. And one thing with being income and asset qualified, you may have the qualification currently, but if you did not dwindle or spend down your money accordingly within the last 5 years, there could be a bump in the road. So you just don't want to gift people your money, like, oh, have my house here, have a couple $1,000 or $50 here, because that is misusing your funds, and that can disqualify you from the waiver program.
Interesting. So that might be a situation where somebody is like right on the cusp of being eligible, and so they try to meet that.
Yep, dwindle down their money. So my suggestion is, instead of gifting your money, I would connect with an elder lawyer and have that person help you dwindle the monies appropriately so you do qualify for the My Choice Waiver Program.
I wonder how far they look back.
I think about 5 years.
That's what I was going to guess too. And so that's a big deal, especially if, that's a big deal. That's a long time to look back and have them sort of make determinations.
Yeah, because I've had a relative who recently is in a nursing home now and needs some additional support, and they try to apply for the Michigan Waiver Program, but because she was gifting money, they said she was disqualified and that she would need to retrieve the money back and use it appropriately. So
then you got to get it back.
Yeah, you do. So.
I know, and you were probably like, "Hey, I could have helped you if you would have asked."
Yeah. well, it's understandable when people are right on that line. They do feel as though that, hey, if I just, I gotta just spend it, and not realizing there's the right way to spend it and the wrong way to spend it.
Yeah, and definitely reach out to an elder law attorney to help guide you through that process, because if that look back period is that long, they're going to do a thorough job. Yeah, and they're going to want documentation that
Correct.
that proves why. Just like if you were to apply for Medicaid insurance, if those of you who have done that or have helped someone do that, that is a lengthy process, and they do ask for a lot of different documentation as proof of your needs and things like that. So I think that's really, really good advice. I hope your family member is okay too.
Yeah.
So as far as the waiver program goes, so they have applied. Do you know about how long it would take for that determination to occur?
It's different depending on the openings, because it is a Michigan program.
Mm-hmm.
So there's only X amount of openings.
I see. Okay.
So if they are full with taking on new clients, then yes, there will be a waiting list. The waiting list sometimes can last from 3 weeks all the way to 6 months.
Wow.
So,
wow. Okay. So that's longer than I thought.
yeah. Sometimes it's right away. Just once the intake comes in, if you're income and asset qualified and you are also in need of ADL services, sometimes it can take 2 weeks. So it's just if there's a spot open, easy peasy. If things line up correctly, if spots are not open, it could be some time.
Yeah, and then probably too, yourself collecting all of the data that you need to prove that you need it. That always takes a long time too, because it sounds like too, if they have to meet a qualification, and that is probably they're going to need some doctor notes to prove what they need as well.
It just depends on the assessment. Not all the time you need a physician letter. Everyone's health and needs are different.
Mm-hmm.
So someone could just really just need some help with laundry at home and preparing meals, and then just making sure their meds are in order. So you really don't need a physician for that.
Interesting.
Other may need higher level service, almost like a nursing care home services within their home. And so that would be different. So it's a case by case scenario.
I kind of like that a little bit, because everybody is different and what they can do some things really well. Just like all of us. Thank you so much for sharing that information with you, with us and our audience. I like that you provided a couple of different resources. You talked about the area on aging. You talked about Medicaid.gov. Obviously, if you are listening outside of Michigan, you can go to your state website and get information on that also, because it's not Michigan. There's other
correct
programs.
Yes, the Medicaid Waiver Program is throughout many states. So you just go to your local
your local state website and get that information.
Just Google the My Choice Waiver Program, and it'll give you listings for your state.
Yeah, that's amazing. There are many people out there who need the help, and I think if more people knew about this program and they were able to meet those eligibility requirements, I do think that it would change their life.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Everyone needs a help every now and then, and it's great to have those opportunities out there.
Yeah, even just like you said, some more socialization, to be involved in a place where things are going on every day. You can do it if you want to. If you don't, then you can do it tomorrow,
Correct.
Participating in that entertainment and those activities. And that part in of itself is life-changing. Yeah. And especially, too, depending on where people are living, it can be a really safe place for them, if you think about the alternative for some people. So I appreciate you sharing that information.
Thank you.
And as I mentioned earlier, Danyell is a part of American House MI, and so those are within 6 different communities in the area. We've had some of them on. You'll probably recognize them from our other shows. But your community specifically does accept this. All 6 do. So you can go on AmericanHouseMI.com and see a list of all of the communities. All of them accept it. So you won't have to ask those questions, but you will have to apply separately. And then for your community group, you are an auditor for this program.
Correct.
So and you're doing it for all 6.
Correct. Yep.
That's a pretty big job.
Well, yep, just wanted to make sure, because it is a government program, so there are policies and procedures that need to take place, and we just want to make sure that we're up to date and we're doing what we need to do.
Yeah, That's amazing. That's a pretty big job. Behind the scenes, I was kind of asking her like about how many and this and that. And I was very surprised, like how many. That can be a big undertaking. That could be like upwards of 100 different charts.
Yeah. I don't mind it. It's nice to get out and see the other communities and see what other people are doing and take a little bit of that back to my community to share with my residents. So it's not just always just auditing and looking for policies and procedures. We also bounce ideas back for me to take back to my community and share with my residents.
Yeah, that is the best part. You get to see other people. You get to see all the different interactions. They're doing this game and they're doing that activity. I really enjoyed myself going on the tour of all of your American House MI communities. It was really fun. It was really super fun. Speaking of which, can you tell us a little bit about your community, Dearborn Heights specifically?
Yes. So my community is located in Dearborn Heights on Ann Arbor Trail between Inkster and Beach Daily. My community is a little unique. It's similar to Farmington Hills, which means both of ours are a little unique compared to the other buildings. And the reason why is because we have that main building, that traditional American house, offer the ADLs, the third-party in-home health care, the 3 meals a day, but surrounding our main building is villas or a condo style of living. So you don't have to have all of those support services, the meals, the third party in-home health care. You just need a community because no longer want to shovel the snow or mow the lawn, but you still want to be engaging. So what's nice about the villas / the condo style living is even though you're placed into a senior living community, how they're structured, you're still in your own neighborhood. You still have your own neighbors kind of to look after each other.
Yeah.
You can plant your own flowers,
Beautiful gardens.
vegetables. Yes, some have extravagant gardens that they have done outside of their porch for the villas.
Yeah, and they have their own parking. They have all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's essentially just like an apartment or a condo within a senior living community.
Correct. Yep.
So they can still be a part of all the meals and all the entertainment and activities. They just have a little bit more privacy than the main building.
Yeah,
Those
correct.
were really cool.
Yeah.
I think they're really popular.
Yes, they are. It gives people options to slowly integrate into a senior living community.
Love that.
Some people feel scared. So, okay, if you don't really want the main building, it's not what you're looking for yet, you can step 1 foot into the senior living community and do the condos / villa residence.
Yeah. I think when I was at your community, I met one of your residents, a lady, and she had just moved into the main building from the condo villa style, and she was like, "This is so much better." She's like, "Now I'm right in the action." So yeah, at first, like you said, she was a little hesitant, a little nervous, and then she was like, "What am I scared of? This is great. Move me in closer."
Yep. So yes, we do have our villa residents that do transfer into our main building. And they love it. They enjoy not having to cook or clean and having the activities right there in the center of everything.
Yep.
And then waking up in the morning, some residents love to do this in the morning, especially when the newsletters are given out to see what outings are for the month. So some residents, their morning routine in the beginning of the month is making sure they're the first ones down at the outing book to be the first ones to sign up for an outing to go out into the community.
I think that's great because you guys do have lots of outings where you're taking the residents outside of the community, but you also have really great events and entertainment within. Holiday parties, you guys do the Olympics against other American House communities.
Yep,
I love that.
Yep. The 6 communities get together once a year and do the Senior Olympics. Each community hosts a different event. The residents, just the smile on their faces. They spend weeks getting ready. Training, getting ready for this, and then be able to show their ability on the day of the events. It's just warming.
I think when we were there, someone was doing Wii bowling.
Yep, Wii bowling.
Yeah, that was serious too.
It's very
They were
competition,
like,
yes.
Hit it. This is our training area.
Yep.
I'm like, all right. I think that's really cool too because then it seems even bigger, right? Because then you're loading up your residents, on the community transportation. You're going to the next one. That sounds like such fun.
Yeah, and they love the last day of the ceremonies getting their gold medals, and they spend the next couple weeks, those who have a few or even just one, they trot themselves up and down the hallways. They're so proud of themselves.
Yeah. I can't blame them. I would be too. You also, besides the villas and living in the main, what type of services, what levels of care do you guys offer?
Yep, we offer completely independent. You don't have to have any services whatsoever. And then as you age, you are more than welcome to add on those services. It can be just showers, and then it can be medications. It can be AM care. It can be PM care, a combination of everything. Or sometimes you just need support just for a couple weeks because it's just not your month. Then you can add on a la carte services, and then after the 3 weeks, you can remove them off and then continue everyday living.
That's really cool too, because sometimes you're just sick and you just need some extra help.
Correct, yep.
Yeah.
So we're there for those either a couple days or a couple weeks for that extra help, and then you can remove those services. And
that's really cool, especially because as we age, it doesn't matter. We all get some sort of illness every now and again. I'm sure you deal with it. Sometimes residents go out to the hospital, and sometimes they want them to go to rehab and this and that. And it's like, if they can have those services too at home at the senior living community, that just helps boost them and get them back to where they were before, which is really awesome. Yeah, I love that. So American House Dearborn Heights has made some incredible investments as well into the community. You guys have done some remodeling. That main room, right, as you walk in, is beautiful. That fireplace is amazing. Yes. So I really encourage people to go out, whether that is watching the virtual tour that we did or going in and talking to Danyell and her team in person. That is where you're really going to see that homey type feel, get a real feel for what it is to live at an American House community. Is there anything else that you would like to share about your community with our audience?
If someone is scared of going to a senior living community, what's nice about American House is we try to make it a home away from home.
Yeah.
So just think of that when you are looking into other communities. Does it make you feel like home? And if it does, then that's the place for you or for your loved one.
Yeah, that's really good advice too. And I think a lot of people, as they age, are afraid of losing their independence. But I think what we find, and especially in my experience in home care therapy and stuff like that, people are sort of tied to their house. They're worried about, like you said, shoveling. They're worried about cutting the grass. They're worried about fixing this, and that went wrong. It's like when you go into the community, you actually get more freedom because you don't have to worry about any of that.
Nope. We got a wonderful maintenance director who's been with us for 16 years, and that's
incredible, actually.
That's one unique thing I like about my community is the longevity of the staff members that we've had. We have,
you too.
Well, I've been about 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, no big deal. Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So our housekeepers, they've been there for 6 to 8 years. We have people in dietary that have been there for 18 to 21 years. And then our wonderful touring director, Michelle, who all of you will meet if you tour our building. She's great. She's been there for 26 years.
That's incredible.
Yes.
And I do encourage people who are touring communities to ask those questions because that really is a telltale sign of kind of what's going on with the community. A lot of people won't stay at their job if they don't like it or if something is weird in the background. So having those kinds of numbers is incredible.
Yep. We're one big family, just like any family. We get together. We have good times and bad times, but we always stick together because we're all here for the residents. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I think you do definitely feel that within the community when you're touring and stuff. And even then, your residents didn't know why we were there, but they were still friendly and trying to talk to us. And that was the best part. Yeah. No offense to you, Danyell, I'm kidding. But it really was, right? It was nice to have those interactions. And I think people will find that they can feel more comfortable faster because your residents are excited to see more people and have more, potential friends move in. So if you would like to reach Danyell or her team, you can call 313-278-6430, or you can go on AmericanHouseMI.com and you can click list of communities and you can find Dearborn Heights right there. But absolutely, please call. That's how you're going to get the biggest and the best experience, especially with a tour. Again, if you have questions about the waiver program, you can reach us at kl@theseniormovers.com, or you can call 586-204-8500. We encourage you to find us on Facebook at The Senior Movers. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Senior Companies. And please reach out to us, comment, give us suggestions for further shows. We cannot wait to hear from you. It's one of our favorites. We love hearing your opinions, good and bad. So definitely reach out to us. And I also want to thank you, Danyell, again for joining us. You did an amazing job. I can tell your real passion for helping seniors and your team as well. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to do yours too. Cheers. Thanks.